Welcome to Chapter 3. Chapter 3 is all about your insides. We're talking about the digestive tract, the gastrointestinal tract. And just to give you a better idea of what is going on in here, we have stretched it out so you can learn what each of the parts are and what happens in each of the parts. So we're going to start from the beginning of the gastrointestinal tract all the way down to the other end. And we're going to look at each part. I'm going to say the name so that you can become familiar with them. Then we'll come back to the beginning and look at what happens in each of these parts. You'll be going into the details of this in your study guide, and your book gives really good descriptions. So let's start right off. Mouth, pharynx, epiglottis, upper esophageal sphincter. I don't know if you can see that. There we go. That's what this is. Esophagus, lower esophageal sphincter. There it is. Stomach, pyloric sphincter. Small intestine. The small intestine has 3 different segments: duodenum, jejunum, ileum, and then we have the ileocecal valve, the large intestine or colon, the rectum, and the here it is, the end, the anus. Okay, so we're going to start that all the way from the beginning again. And again, keep in mind, this is one big long tube. So we're going to imagine taking a bite of food. The golf ball here is going to represent the food. And I'm going to talk about what happens in each of these parts as you go through your GI tract. So you take a bite of food, you put it in your mouth. Your teeth are going to chomp and chew, and you have saliva from your salivary glands that's going to go in there and moisten that lump of food and make it easier to swallow. You also start digesting a little bit of the carbohydrate from the enzymes in your saliva. The pharynx is the little area at the back of your throat where you could either go down into your stomach through the esophagus or into your lungs through the trachea. We don't want food to go down into the lungs, so you have a little part called the epiglottis, which is a flap that protects the entrance to the trachea. So that bite of food isn't going to go down into your lungs, it's going to go into your stomach, towards your stomach. So from the epiglottis, we go through this stretchy band of muscle called the upper esophageal sphincter. Okay, so the upper esophageal sphincter is a stretchy band of muscle, like a hair tie or a big rubber band. It relaxes to open and allow food to pass through, and then it snaps shut to prevent food from going back up the wrong direction. So we want food to go down through the system. And that's why you have a series of sphincter muscles along the way that help control the flow. After the upper esophageal sphincter, you go into the esophagus, the food tube, then through the lower esophageal sphincter and into the stomach. The stomach is where food gets churned around, mixed together with acid and really strong digestive enzymes, and it gets broken apart. The stomach is a strong series of muscles that contract and mix together food to break it apart. The pyloric sphincter is where that mushy, sludgy bit of food, now called chyme, travels down into the small intestine. This is where the bulk of absorption happens. So there are enzymes that come from the pancreas, and there is bile that comes from the liver and from the gallbladder. That mixes together and it helps break apart every little nutrient that you need to absorb. So in the small intestine, particularly the beginning of the small intestine, the duodenum, that's where a lot of absorption happens. So the nutrients are going to leave and go into the bloodstream or the lymphatic system to be circulated throughout the body. As you go down further, more vitamins and things are being absorbed in the ileum, and then the jejunum, and then the ileum. So DJI, duodenum, jejunum, ileum. That's how to remember the three parts of the small intestine. Then down through the ileocecal valve into the large intestine. Now by this point, most nutrients have been absorbed. What's left is fiber and water and dead skin cells and things that your body just wants to get rid of. So that goes into the large intestine. The good healthy bacteria in your large intestine actually digest some of that fiber. They make a couple vitamins for you. A little bit of water gets reabsorbed here. And then finally, whatever's really waste that your body wants to get rid of sits in the rectum until it's time to evacuate it and get rid of it through the anal sphincter, the last sphincter in the process. And then plunk, the waste goes away. So review this week all of the different parts of the gastrointestinal system, and you'll be very familiar with it. You could probably even take this and do it blindfolded by the time you're done. Have a great week.